Welcome back. So basically today I wanted to do a video, in-depth video on beginner makeup along with products that are best for different people because not every product works for every person. So down in the description of the video I'm going to have different drugstore and high-end products that are best for oily skin, dry skin, and then along with a bunch of different products like blush, bronzer, everything that I'm using, but in high-end and in drugstore because I understand not everyone has the money to buy high-end makeup. In this tutorial, I do not cover eyebrows or eyeshadow really. I mainly just do face. I show how I do this kind of a little bit of not really eyeshadow, but a little bit of bronzer on the eyes, but mainly I'm just focusing on face. I hope this video is helpful and I hope you guys enjoy it, okay? Okay, so I already did my eyebrows and I do have on a little bit of mascara just because I already went out today. But it's just a little bit, so I'll just go over it again. Okay, starting out, I am going to prime. I'm going to list a bunch of different primers below for different concerns, like if you are worried about oiliness or dryness or discoloration, stuff like that. I'm using Smashbox, the original Photo Finish Blur. Now typically if you are into doing eyeshadow, if you've been playing with doing eyeshadow, I recommend doing your eyebrows, eyeshadow, and then doing your face makeup. But if you're not doing bright and bold eyeshadow or you haven't even tried doing eyeshadow yet, I will show you how to do some like simple like bronzing so you can do this look without having to do eyeshadow. So I just put the primer all over my face just like as if you were putting on like sunscreen or moisturizer. And after I do that, you want to push your hair back and grab your foundation. Knowing your skin type before you buy a foundation is really important. Drugstore and high-end brands have products for dry, oily, and combination skin, so I'm going to make sure to list all the best ones that I know of down below so you can figure out, maybe try different ones and figure out which one's best for you. For me today I'm going to be using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. If you're looking into high-end makeup, I highly recommend this one because it's great for all skin types. It's super natural and it's buildable. So in one layer, it's not super thick. You can build it in some spots that you need it more and thinner in other spots that you don't really need it as much. So that way you're not putting a thick mask all over your face and you feel like you're suffocating your skin throughout the day. So for application, I use a beauty blender. You can either use a beauty blender or you can go to Walgreens or Ulta or Sephora and get a foundation brush. I prefer a sponge because they are easier to clean. Foundation doesn't get stuck in them nearly as easily, especially with the actual beauty blender brand. You have more even application and you have more control with the way you put it on. With a brush, it gets a little bit more stuck. Like this brush I've had for a while. It hasn't been cleaned in a little bit, but you can see it's kind of all stuck in there. You can see that. And no matter after how many washes, a lot of times you'll still like deepen the bristles. It'll be still kind of gross and just unsanitary, and I have really sensitive breakout prone skin, so using a brush typically isn't what I like to use. But if you do use a brush, you would just use it the same way as a beauty blender, except whenever you're putting it on, you'll spread first and then pat it in, so that way you can still get coverage, but you're not smearing it off of your face. So I like to take my foundation, put it on the back of my hand, my beauty blender, and then I start at my cheeks and kind of go down around and then do my forehead last just because I don't really have much to cover on my forehead, so I'm not super concerned about it, but my cheeks and everything, I want to make sure I get that all really good. So I take it and I bounce. I want to smear because if you're smearing it, that happens. And then you kind of have like uneven, like see how it's thicker up there and thinner down here? That's not good. So you want to bounce it so you're actually blending it into your skin. So I like to put the least amount on my nose because typically on most people, even on me, and I have dry skin, your nose gets the oiliest because you have typically bigger pores there. You sweat there, the sun hits there a lot. So after I'm done with my cheek and my beauty blender is almost out of foundation, I go over my nose real quickly. Okay, so you've patted all around, everything is evenly put on, there's no streaks or smears or patchy parts or anything missing. So after done with that, you will take your concealer is to put it right here and right here because it kind of lifts your eye whenever you blend it up this way. I highly recommend getting a concealer that's maybe just slightly lighter than your natural skin tone because it's going to help hide darkness and brighten your face and add highlight to your cheekbone and wherever else you may want it. You can put it on the bridge of your nose to kind of highlight the bridge of your nose. You can put on your chin, your cupid's bow, and then you would just blend that out and it'll be a lot slightly lighter to try and add more emphasis to it, make it seem bigger. So I just take it and I just kind of go under and out. You can just take a little bit of your concealer, not a lot, and put it on your eyelid. Now that we've done that, we're gonna move into contour. Now contour is kind of something that takes practice, so if you feel like you're not really interested in contour, or you're not interested in spending the money on it, or spending the time on it, or that's just not one of your concerns right now, you can completely skip this part. I'm gonna be going over cream and powder. That's what I usually do on a day-to-day basis, and kind of give your face dimension, but you don't have to do that. I like to take a contour stick. To know what color you'll need, I recommend going to Sephora and asking them that, like, I want a cream contour stick. I want a cream contour stick and I want to know what color I am. So on placement, I learned this a long time ago and it's always worked for me. So where your ear is attached, the top of your ear where it's attached, not up here, right here, you're gonna take that and you're just gonna go down. So that way it's not too low, because if you go too low, it's gonna make, sometimes that can make you like bring everything down and make everything look sad. Right here, over. And then I like to do little dots right here. And then depending on forehead, if you feel like you have a big forehead, you can contour your head, but some people have really smaller foreheads. And if that is the case with you, I would just contour right here where we put the dots and not put anything up here. But because I have a big forehead, I like to just put 2 lines right here. For nose, you can look up tutorials for like that dramatic, like almost fake plastic surgery nose contour. I just don't typically like doing that because I'm fine with my nose. So for my nose contour, all I really do is just a line and a line. I only do that because I want to make sure I keep dimension in the middle of my face, so I just don't have my dimension right here. My nose disappears and I look like Voldemort. And I like to just put it under my chin right here, down, and then down again. And you can really play with cream contour and put it all kinds of places to see what you want to bring out more, what you want to shadow more. Okay, so you can blend this out with a beauty blender, but I like to use, as bipolar as it sounds, I like to use a brush to blend out my cream contour, just because like I feel like I have a little bit more control with this stiff brush than I do with the beauty blender. And also my beauty blender has foundation on it, so it can mute the darker shades that I just put on my face. So I take this stiff brush, it's kind of like a stiff angled brush, and I go in the same spot and I blend up. So you want to blend up. Always blend up, or else it might, like I said, you don't want to drag your face down. And then we'll do our temples, so you can just kind of pull your hair back and blend up. And then our hairline, I pull my hair back and I blend it back into my hairline. And so let's do the same thing to the other side. On my nose, like I said, I'm not super into like super constructed nose contours, so like I just do this down the nose just to add dimension. And then our jaw, same thing, just blend up. If you feel like any spots have like, oh no, too much contour, it looks too dark, it looks like mud, don't freak out. You can take your beauty blender and you can kind of clean up any spots that you have that you feel like look a little too dark. We're moving into powder products. So I'm going to be taking my Fenty powder in the color Lavender. This is my favorite loose powder I've ever used in any product. I like to use like a small dense brush like this, but it still kind of has layers in it, so it's pointed at the top. I like to put a little bit of powder in this and then powder my under eye. And if you are worried about color, on powders, you can get a translucent powder, or again, you can go to Sephora and ask them to color match you to a good powder. And I do this for my whole T-zone because, like I said, that spot is typically the spot that gets the most oily, even on people who have dry skin. Just on my nose, up on the forehead, around my mouth, just because you know you touch your mouth a lot throughout the day, and my chin. For the rest of my face and setting it, I will dip into the powder with a bigger fluffy brush, and I just do this in circles. We're going to finish our contour with powder contour because as you can see, it's a little muted because of the setting powder, but we'll bring it back. I'm going to take a fluffy angled brush like this. This is just what I prefer. And then I just kind of tap it in there very lightly, and then I like to hit the brush like this just to get any excess off of it so that it's all even on the brush. And then we're gonna do the exact same placement as whenever we did the cream contour. So here, right here, up. And then go up the forehead. On the forehead, then on the jaw, and the sides of the nose. I'm going to show you guys what's a quick eyeshadow look you can do on the eyes. It's not really like doing eyeshadow. So I'm going to take the same small dense setting brush I used under my eyes, and I'm just going to set the concealer that we put up there. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is a pretty big fluffy brush. You don't have to get one this big. You can get smaller blending brushes like this one. But I just like using the bigger one because it's quicker and gives a more natural effect. So I'm going to dip it to the same powder bronzer that I have, and I just go in my crease and I just blend. And same principle as contouring, you just blend up. And I like to take it out here, kind of wing it out, just like that, and you can already see the difference. You don't have to do this part, but it's a good way to start practicing eyeshadow. Now I'm going to use a blush. So I'm using NARS blush. I like to take another dense brush. I just like using dense brushes. Okay, so I like to take a dense brush like this. It's kind of rounder, and I really like to go in with blush. So I put on the apple of my cheeks. So a huge trend right now is putting a lot of blush on, and I really like that look, so I like to go in and put it on my nose. You don't have to do that. That's just something I like to do. And then the last spot I put it is a little bit on my chin. We are going to go in with highlighter. Highlighter is also optional. You really, if you wanted to be done now and just have your face look like this and have it super natural, that's super pretty too. So I'm going to go in with the Jaclyn Hill highlighter in the color Iced. I use something like this. Best way I can explain this is from your temple down. That's where you want to place it. And you just want to blend it out. And this is also something you can play with just like the blush. You can kind of figure out where you want to put it, where you like it. Do the other side. Take your finger or a really small eyeshadow brush. I prefer to take my finger, and you just put it in here. You can either go straight into mascara, play with some eyeliner, start practicing doing some wing liner, or you can leave it just like this. So I'm going to go in with my favorite mascara, which is the Rare Beauty. So you can see we can set our face. And then you can either put on a lip gloss or even a lip balm, maybe a tinted lip balm. My favorite lipstick is NARS lipstick in the color Dolce Vita. So that is the finished look. If you guys have any questions on something maybe I missed in this video or about certain products, if you guys would like to see other beginner makeup tutorials, like maybe eyebrows or more eyeshadow, or maybe more in depth for different skin types or on other different people, make sure to like this video and to comment on it. Thanks y'all so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.